So this is something I've been doing a lot of. When someone says like, hey, yeah, we don't really pay speakers. This is what I respond with.
How'd you do that?
I see that success is not something you pursue. It is something you are.
I was contacting people, I was prospecting, getting events, and usually I'll send an email out, I'm like, oh, I'm God's gift to earth, and I try to get hired, and sometimes they'll respond by saying, oh, we only use insider speakers, like we only use industry speakers. And at first I used to just be like, oh, dang it, okay. And then I would just kind of go on to the next event. But one time I got kind of mad. I was like, what the heck? They only use freaking insider speakers? The purpose is to use great speakers, whether they're insiders or not. Use great speakers. So I freaking replied back, and I replied back by doing this. I basically said, like, I understand that you guys only use your insider speakers, but check this out. And then I sent her a link to a testimonial. And the testimonial was the Remax testimonial.
And shut up. That was amazing. My head hurts.
Where he's like, oh, shut up. And so after that, I actually got booked for the event. I said, let me try this again. So I did it again. When people essentially said no, most of the times I would just stop until I didn't. Until I say, you know what? When people say no, I'm just going to say like, listen, you're making a freaking mistake here, because I truly believe it. When someone tells me that they only use like insider speakers or they don't pay speakers, when someone says anything like that, I say, look, I get that you only use insider speakers, but that's because you haven't seen me yet. I get you don't pay speakers, but that's because you haven't seen a speaker worth paying for yet. So I truly believe this, and that's why I actually got mad when people said this to me, and then I just replied. So what you can do when someone says, oh, we only use inside speakers, or we don't pay speakers, you can respond back and say, yes, I understand you guys normally don't pay speakers. I understand you guys normally use insider speakers, whatever. But you got to watch this. Here's the amazing reactions that I got from Remax, from Aflac, from whoever you're sending it to. This is something I do all the time now. And I want to point out that I don't just send any testimonial. It depends on the industry that I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to a sales organization, I'll send out testimonial from Aflac or Remax.
The shock and awe of Benji Bruce.
Because those are sales organizations. If I'm talking to a marketing event, an internet marketing event, I'll send out the testimonial I have of Ryan Dice, because he's a very well-known guy in the industry.
Across the board, everybody was absolutely thrilled, and we're really happy.
So I basically send out a testimonial that makes sense. I remember when I was talking to an event, and I was looking up the people that they had in the previous years, and they had Tony Robbins at an event. So I sent them this testimonial by a guy named Larry Benet, really cool guy, great guy, and he gave me a testimonial saying, oh, I've had Tony Robbins at my events, and Tony Shea, and he's like, oh, Benji, my goodness.
I've had some of the greatest speakers of our generation, from Tony Robbins to Tony Shea of Zappos. It was one of the most memorable entertainment speeches I've seen ever.
And I sent them this testimonial. And so I send testimonials that make sense. And the testimonials that I like to send are the ones that express emotion. It's best when people are like, oh my God, that was, oh my goodness, amazing. Because that's what they want to see happen at their event. So I send the testimonials that express emotion, because I'm basically saying, like, look, I get that you don't normally pay speakers. I get that you only hire industry speakers, but this is why I get paid.
Because, man, I was just blown away. That was amazing. If you haven't seen the guy, you got it.
This is why you should bring me in, even though I'm not an inside speaker. I don't say it like that, but that's what's going on in my head. And so I send this out, and then they get a testimony, and the person's like, holy shiznit.
There's awesome, and then there's what the fuck.
And that essentially tells a meeting planner, this is what to expect. And honestly, if you're a perfect fit for the event, if you truly believe that you're a perfect fit, then don't just stop there and be like, oh, dang it, and you delete the event from a CRM. Just say, you know what, I'll contact them next year and the year after that. Because eventually the person might move on. The person who said no to you, they might move on. And then some other person is going to replace them. Or maybe they just have a lot of events and they just don't see you as a person for that specific one. So I do this a lot now. Whenever someone says no, I kind of say, listen, I get it, but you gotta watch this.